Hey guys, welcome back to the end of December. We're going to check in on our monthly December budget and put in the final numbers for the month of December. Let's just get into it and see how it went. If you're new to my channel, hi, my name is Amanda and this is Ordinary Everydays, where I talk about budgeting and personal finance with a little bit of just cozy seasonal stuff mixed in. So if you're on a debt-free journey or just a budgeting journey, feel free to give me a follow and leave me a comment so I can say hi. And yeah, let's go ahead and jump right in. Jumping into the month of December, it was definitely a challenge. We had a couple emergencies pop up. We had an ER visit and we had some car issues, and put together those really influenced the month. So, and I think we were over budget in general, just all over the place. December was an absolute hot mess, and I cannot wait to start over fresh in January and try to get back on track again. It's just a constant cycle of things going crazy and then trying to get back on track. I guess that's just life. So let's go ahead and write in. Okay. So for the checking account balance, I started off this month with almost $9,000 in my checking account, and I'm ending the month with $7,586.01 in my checking account. For income, I only brought in income from my job this month, no additional income, but I did get a raise. So overall, it went up very slightly to $6,132.57 for my income. And that was all I brought in this month in terms of income. And starting in January, some of my benefits are changing. My 401k contributions are changing, so my income may go up a bit. For rent and utilities, that was actually $2,461.42. I fixed it. Okay, so now on to rent and utilities. That was actually $2,461.42. Internet was $65.22 as expected. Electricity was actually a little lower at $130.96. Car insurance was $324.53. Phones were $162, and let me add that all up together. Okay, so that was a total of $3,144.13. And let me quickly do the differences. Okay, so we were under budget on just fixed expenses by $63.09. Okay, so let me head over to the car loans. The first car, the Honda, we're ending at a total balance of, let me change the color back to black, $2,382.88. For the second car loan, we're ending off at $17,876.03. So we're under the 18,000 mark for this car, thank God. For Bank of America, I was not able to make this extra $500 payment because of all of the crazy things that happened this month. So in the month of December, so that we're ending it still down at $12,037.17. Okay, and then let me add up total debt and the differences as well. We are down to a total debt of $32,296, which means we paid off a grand total of $952.68 worth of debt in December. That's awesome. It's not as much progress as I would have liked to have made because of the emergencies that happened this month, but we're still okay for now. And then let me take a look at the savings balances. I was planning to contribute $425 and I did, and that means ending balance on my savings account. And then I also have a $25 automatic transfer, and I have a keep the change thing, so it transfers over a couple cents here and there. But I'm ending off the month at a total savings balance of $3,351.45. And I may have to take some out of this in January to pay for some things that popped up, which we'll get into later, but I don't know. We'll take a look in January to see if we do. I did not have to take out of that account for December, but for January, I may have to balance that out. I have not contributed anything additional to the 529s, so those are still the same, although in January, I do want to allocate a little bit of money to those every month. For stock, this was due to the market. I'm ending off the month at $20,990. And I forgot to write the cents. Then for my high yield savings, I'm ending off, I didn't contribute, but there was interest added, ending off at $34,235.43. And then lastly, for 401ks, we're ending off at a total of $77,951.66. So looks like all of my savings went up a little bit, which is really, really good. And then let me add them all together. I started off with a total savings of $131,000. I'm ending off with total savings of $137,000. And again, most of this is being driven by my 401k contributions and kind of the market growth for my 401k going up quite a bit month over month. And my stock also went up a little bit, and then my cash savings contribution. So let me do the differences all together. My 401ks really drove this month with basically almost $5,000 added just from my 401k contribution and market growth on my previous 401k balance. So my savings went up by $6,000 this month in December, which is really exciting. Although of course, most of that is in retirement. So it's not cash on hand to be spent. It's something that will pay off down the road, but still really happy to see that. So debt was paid off, savings went up, But let's get into the craziness of what happened this month. And I may have to actually dip into my emergency fund next month because of everything that went down. So I had budgeted conservatively for a total spend of $1,700, and I can tell you right now, we went way over that. So let me write in the actuals, and I typically do the actuals in blue, and I didn't for all the other categories, but I will do it for this category. So for the actuals on groceries, I really reeled it in on the second half of the month because I noticed I was going over on the first half. I did not do my mid-month update because of holiday busyness, and I was not able to get around to that. So sorry for missing a video there, but I spent over my budgeted amount by a little bit. $1,122.47. So I did go over on groceries, but I really had to pull it back in the second half of the month because I noticed I was going way, way over. In the first half, for subscriptions, we actually are right on budget at $49.43, although I should really start canceling some of that again because I feel like we cancel them and then we start subscribing to things and then it builds back up again, and it's time for another cutback on that. Okay, for furniture and decor, I did a big Target trip, but I did buy some furniture, decor, like Christmas decorations and clothing. So I'm just going to subtract that out of the Target spend and put 50 here, 50 here, because that was partially, actually the clothing was partially from an H&M purchase, and the rest I'm putting under holiday spending because some of that was related to the holidays. For the kids' school, I did put 40 on their lunch money. So that was 20 per kid. I'll probably have to do that again in January. For kids' fun, nothing specifically for this. For gas, I spent $17.50, so I was under there. Although car maintenance, is that another? Okay, I do have a category for that. Okay, we'll get there when we get there. For eating out, I did go over with $86.20 on eating out. For coffee out, I was a little under $6.70. I got one coffee out. For beauty and bath, that was part of the Target run, so I'm just chalking up $50 for that. Nothing for exercise. For birthdays, I'm putting the full 100 out of the shopping that I did. Okay, and that leaves us with the rest of the last minute Christmas shopping that we did and some other things, bringing the total holiday additional shopping over budget at $460.93 for last minute Christmas related shopping stuff. So we were definitely over on that, regardless of the emergencies we'll get into later. So still over. For family activities, I'm going to put some money we spent on a museum trip. My mom was really generous and bought us season passes to the museum, but I did buy a few things at the cafe and the gift store, so that's $18, not that much. For car maintenance, okay, so this we've already spent on new battery and a towing service, a grand total of $567.23. And we are currently working with our warranty on the car to see if we can cover any of the parts and labor, which I will have to pay in January, which is probably going to be, if I don't get any of it covered, probably going to be an additional $1,200 expenditure. So that was definitely a sucker punch on the batteries. As soon as the weather got cold, both the cars started acting up, and one of them had some pretty bad underlying issues. So we actually could not get it started whatsoever, even jumping, and had to get it towed. That was really expensive. So, and then we had to buy another battery for the other car too. So yeah, $567, not expected to spend on that. And then for other, I'm just going to go ahead and put the other emergency down here. $200 for an emergency room visit because my son almost broke his toe. He dropped something really heavy on his toe and we thought he broke it. It was awful. The toenail's probably going to pop off at some point, but We had to go to the emergency room to get it x-rayed, and that was $200 for my copay on that. So yeah, a nice little $767 of unexpected expenditures in December, with more to come in January, which was not a good time. So yeah, that is why an emergency fund is a really good idea, because I do have my emergency fund, which is currently at $3,000 and some change. And so I know that next month, if I do have to pay that full $1,200 and the warranty doesn't cover anything, I can just use my emergency fund and take that bite out of it, but it's not going to affect my normal day-to-day expenses. It's not going to affect my debt levels. I'm prepared for that emergency. So that's really comforting to know. Although I'm going to be very annoyed to see that money disappear from my account, but that's what it's there for. It's there for an emergency, and we had an emergency. So that's why having an emergency fund is a good idea. But oh my God, you guys, I cannot wait for just one really event-free month. Last month there was an unexpected bill that we forgot about for a hospital bill. So anyway, it's just been back-to-back months. Just when we got our delayed tax refund, of course, then we had a bunch of unexpected expenses. That's just karma, I guess. But anyway, for dog care, I did not spend anything specifically on the dog. My husband covered that. For vacations, we did not go anywhere. So let me go ahead and add up what we did actually spend, and I'll add in the differences, and we'll be back after all of that. Oh, I forgot. We also, an additional 50 for other. Okay, so back to adding. Where was I? Okay, so that brings my total variable expenses to $2,868.60. So that is a lot more than I had budgeted for. So let me do the differences. Okay, so we were over budget this month by $1,168.60. So I am not sure how we are doing this, but somehow I was able to cover all of this. These are all the real numbers. I'm not sure where I absorbed that extra $1,000. I was planning to do an extra payment onto my savings account, which I didn't do. Let's subtract and see how much we spent out of the checking account from month to month. Let's see. Okay, that makes sense. So yeah, for the cash on that I had, I'm down from my monthly balance, my checking account starting balance, to the way I'm ending the month, down about $1,300 in my checking account. So I don't even know if you can see the calculator on the screen because it's getting dark. But that makes sense that I absorbed the money by taking it out of the additional money I had from that I kind of have in my checking account as a pad month over month, and also from the tax refund money I got last month because we got our late tax refund. And that is kind of how I was able to absorb that without actually getting into my emergency fund. But next month, if we do have to pay that full $1,200, I will absolutely have to pull that out of my emergency fund. But yeah, I hope you did not have any ER visits or other awful things happen, car issues in the month of December. But if you did, I feel you on that. And I'm just glad we had the money to cover most of that. But if there's another month like this, it's going to really start hurting, because then it's going to really start charging out of the savings, out of our emergency fund. And I may have to actually add in debt if bad things continue to happen. So hopefully the month of January is problem-free and just very peaceful, and no more holiday spending either. And we can just swim through the month, except for that random $1,200 car payment, which I may have to actually make. So for the credit card payoff tracker, I was going to color in an additional flower if I was able to make another $500 payment. I was not able to make that this month. So let's skip over here. I was able to, oh, sorry, this is the payment I made last month on the Prius, so I don't get to do another flower here yet. But I do get to color in one of these bubbles for the Honda. We're almost done paying it off. And because I did not do my mid-month, I didn't do my mid-month budget check-in last month, so I wasn't able to pay it off then. I wasn't able to color in a bubble, which I was planning to do during the mid-month check-in, but I missed it because holidays are a lot. So let me just do that now. We'll color in another one here. Why are my highlighters so weird today? Okay, we're just gonna color in one little bubble here. And yeah, in less than a year, this is gonna be fully paid off. Finally, we'll have one car fully owned. That'll be awesome. Okay, so that's it for the month of December. I will be back with a January planning session and budgeting session. And I'm thinking about all my New Year's resolutions that I want to have this year. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye, guys.